So at what point did you feel disrespected?
You don't know about me. So you and everything about you.
Chris has lost his.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Button 91. We're talking to you guys about Chris and Jessica and their situation. This is part one of maybe a few videos I'm going to drop over the course of the weekend. I want to be very, very clear. I like a little bit of a supervillain. I like a bit of the bad person that usually people are like, oh no, I don't like them. I like what Jessica did in this episode. Listen, I don't agree with everything she does, but the way she handled this episode, I think it was chef's kiss. Let me tell you why. The whole beef starts off with the whole combative word. She's pissed off. She don't like it. She's now using the whole black woman card. It sticks to the label, daga, 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 right? But then obviously it gets to a point where she plans, make sure that Morier stays in, get Chris out of there. Okay, even argues with Lee and throws a little bit of shade. We'll discuss that in another video. Then it gets to the point that she's now been chosen as the one who's going to send Chris home. There's going to be a little bit of satisfaction here. Jessica is no fool. Very smart, very astute, very aware. Now, she's clocked Chris. She's clocked that Chris is an emotional individual, one that leans into his emotions far too much. In fact, she walked into that meeting with Chris like it was a boardroom meeting, ready to take out another person who thought that she was incompetent or ill-ready for the role that she was about to play. No, she came prepared. She came with shield, sword, armor, ready to do battle. But if you think she was going to get irate, shout, scream, and make all the hollering noises, no. No, she came in there calm, collected, and she, I would like to say silently, okay, unsheathed the knife and just enough for Chris to be able to and lose it. Now, he has to take accountability. We're going to discuss that in another video. He needs to take accountability because what he did here, I don't care. I don't care. That ain't it, right? And we'll discuss his issues in another video. But she came to do battle, right? And through the course of the conversation, I don't know what happens. It gets to a point, they ask a question about combativeness and whatever. She says something that probably riles him up a little bit. It doesn't really matter whether he was wrong. And we'll discuss that in another video. But when he starts to get a little bit irate, if you watch her, she remains calm and collected. Now, if you know anything about manipulation, I used to do the same thing to my siblings, especially my younger brother. I'd watch him, someone who was quick to anger, I'd watch him begin to bubble, and you can see you're getting underneath their skin, and you remain calm. Oh, why are you getting stressed? Oh, no, is that what you did? Oh, no, hey, look. No, I'm cool, I'm calm. And don't think that the cool and calm person is always the person who's the one that's been aggressed with. No, the cool and calm person sometimes is very much aware that the other person is a ticking time bomb, and they remain even calmer the more to manipulate the person and make the person get even more vexed. You're probably asking how. We'll discuss that in the rest of this video. Okay, if you're new to the channel, do me a massive favor. Like it, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notifications of the uploads. Okay, and don't forget, listen, we're trying to get to 100K. You're doing a great job, guys, and I really appreciate y'all. Y'all been clicking away, subscribing, and the numbers just keep going up and up, and it's crazy. I love it. Let's get us to 100K by the end of the year, okay? Share this with somebody, like the video as well. It helps, and you're going to leave a comment down below as well. Don't leave this video and not leave a comment, because I want to know your opinion, who you feel is right and who's wrong between Jessica and Chris. I want to know your opinion down below, okay? And for those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. Stay hydrated because the streets out there are hot. Let's get back into the video, baby. Okay. All right. Let's have a little bit more look at this. What's going on?
Entire mind. But if he wants to act the fool, he wants to scream and holler and cuss, that's fine. I'm glad that I actually saw the real Chris.
There we go. She finally got the rise that she needed out of him, because to her, Chris wasn't giving her the true authenticity of his reaction. And you know what? Absolutely right. And when you know that you have someone's card and their number, you know what buttons to press and how to get underneath them. Something that Chris is affects Chris at the moment is the respect level. And I've noticed this, right? The wording that he uses in this particular episode with Jessica, he says, first and foremost, I basically I deserve respect, and I'm as a man, You know, you should respect me. And I realized therein lies your weakness and your chink in the armor. If Jessica can get underneath that, you're done, right? Your issue is you want to be respected, not just respected as an individual, but as a man, which means you felt, and this is before Jessica, you felt like people have tested your manhood. And so by you being tested in your manhood, if she can say something that would point or poke at your manhood or your masculinity, or even you being respected as a man, right? If she can touch that place, you're gonna lose it, right? Because it's your weakness and it's your chink in your armor. You understand what I'm saying to you? So now I don't know what's said because it cuts. The editing's cut in a particular way, and we don't get to hear the whole of the conversation, which would have been nice to at least grasp why I got to that point. But either way, there was something that was pressed. He gets annoyed, he gets frustrated, he gets angry, and then boom, there goes a frustration that's been holding for a long time. And just because no idiot, she can tell when someone's holding back their true feelings. In fact, a lot of people can, because when someone's being nice and they're being hurt by the other person, and I think this is where she's very clever, knows that if I'm hurting you, or you say if you say you're being hurt, or I can see you're being frustrated, or I can see that, you know what, you're taking some stuff that I'm doing to heart, but you don't say anything, then I know you're storing up. I know that your inability to be able to assertively express how you feel about what you're feeling tells me you're holding everything back. You just need a little push over the edge. Now, of course, I'm thinking very calculatedly, and it doesn't really happen in that particular way. It happens in milliseconds, but this is essentially what happens. And so then in that moment where she can see him rising, all she got to do is give him a little push along the way and remain calm. And the more she remains calm, and the more she remains as if I haven't done nothing wrong, I don't know why you're so stressed, oh, you just need to calm down. The more she does that, the more he's going, right? You're not gonna make me look like the bad guy. He's getting more and more into his emotions, and he's reacting from those emotions. And as those emotions begin to take over because he's not regulating very well, that's the truth. People who are nice guys don't regulate their emotions very well. What they are doing is they are suppressing their emotions. The problem with suppression is just like a coil and a spring. You suppress it and it springs bang. So what you saw with Jessica and Chris is a suppression and a coil expanding at force. So yes, now you've got the violent outburst, and it was a violent outburst, right? And you look like a fool. And now Jessica has her evidence. I'm not the combative one. You are. I'm not the combative one. You are. Who just shouted F you and da 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 da? I didn't. And you saw how unbothered, uncared she looked. That's going to piss him off even more. She looked unbothered the whole time. Let me tell you something. Chris cared about her. And I think she did care about Chris in some shape or form, right? But her nonchalance, even her ability to just be like, okay, that pisses a person off when they feel like the other person should care. That's why he said in his confession, she's evil. It's like, no, she's not evil, but she's so cold, you couldn't get underneath that. Chris couldn't win that battle, right? She inevitably won the war. And so in that instance, Chris is the one that has to take the brunt of their accountability here, because you fell for the trap. You fell for the okie dokie, and you fell for the bait, right? And I'm not mad at it, because at the end of the day, life is warfare. You understand what I'm saying to you? And I have to respect what Jessica did. Show. Oh, you gonna call me combative? I'm gonna show you some combativeness. I'm gonna show you who really is combative in this situation. You ain't about to play me, because it got to a point where, look, you know, Chris is the one that's looking like he's about to cry, and we'll discuss that in another video. He looks like he's about to cry. Do you know why? Because he's so hurt by the situation. Because that was what came out of his mouth was pain. What came out of his mouth was pain and hurt from what Jessica had been doing throughout the course of the season. But because he didn't address it in the way that needed to be addressed, it's been building up all the entire time. And so now you've come out and you've outburst, and now you look like the fool. So we're going to discuss it, because in reality, Jessica had checkmate, and I ain't mad at it. Supervillains do what supervillains do. Shout out to Jessica. Hey, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification uploads. Look, let me know your thoughts, guys. Who was wrong? Who was right? Was Jessica right for the way she played Chris? Was Chris doing too much? Do you side with Chris? Do you side with Jessica? Is she a mean girl? Let me know your thoughts down below. I want to hear your immediate responses. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of uploads. We'll see you again